Hello, welcome to Wrestling in Mom's Basement. This is the Extreme Rules 2018 review show. I, of course, am Patrick Young. This gentleman to my right just said he'd prefer a WCW pay-per-view over a good SummerSlam, Joe Venuto.
I don't know if you consider SummerSlam, I'm giving you good stuff. It depends on your taste. One match is really good.
One match is very good?
Yeah.
Okay. I have no idea if anything is good on yours, so.
WWE in some ways limped into Pittsburgh's PPG Paints Arena for an Extreme Rules pay-per-view preceded by some creatively bankrupt television role, questionable booking decisions, and the continued absence of Universal Champion Brock Lesnar. Yet there's still reason being intrigued by the pay-per-view. The SmackDown Live portion on the line featured the First Lady Championship for the cult favorite Rusev, who challenged AJ Styles, and the reunited team held no challenging the Bludgeon Brothers for the SmackDown Title Championship. Roll brought to the show a heated bout between Roman Reigns and Bobby Lashley. That would go a long way to determine the top contender of Lesnar's Universal title, and a 30-minute Iron Man match, pinning a contract with Dolph Ziggler and Seth Rollins. Was the show able to deliver despite some lackluster build and disappointing creative returns that dominated the pre-event build? Let's see. Up first, Andrade Cien Almas defeated Sin Cara.
For me, it was pretty similar to the match we got from them on SmackDown. However, it did differ in one key aspect where Sin Cara got a lot more strong offense than he did on SmackDown. So it did sort of make it a little different enough to where you felt you weren't watching the same match. Andrade took like a very serious bump. It almost looked like he banged his face on the apron.
Yeah.
But thankfully he was okay and continued on with the match. Again, Zelina proves almost invaluable to Andrade and gives him the distraction and helps him get the one over Sin Cara. I thought it was a very good match like the one on SmackDown. And I thought it was just different enough to where you felt like you weren't watching the same thing.
Yeah, I don't think it was as smooth or fluid as our previous bout. And that aforementioned Hurricane spot to the floor was unnecessarily dangerous. But Almas scored a quality win, and Sin Cara's star was again enhanced, thanks to his second consecutive war match. The question now is where Almas goes from here. Arguably one of the 5 best wrestlers in the old WWE in 2018. Almas would try to ward a little bit on the SmackDown roster for lack of direction. He needs a quality program against a credible opponent in order to build momentum and to recycle the audience that may not necessarily be familiar with his style work at NXT. Until that happens, he will continue to impress in matches like this one. But hopefully will struggle to be set on grander skill.
It was a solid kickoff match, C+.
C. Plus as well. Up next, Sandy defeated the New Day in a tables match.
For tables match, this one was perfectly fine. Again, they probably shouldn't do tables matches without the Dudley Boys, or at the very least the Hardy Boys. I thought this match could probably have been a lot better if it was a tornado tag, but there was just
a tornado tag.
Just being a tornado tag, not and a tornado tag. But yeah, I thought that environment would be a lot better instead of just setting up tables that would never be used. Pretty much teasing a table spot 9 times out of 10 that won't come until you get to that one spot. But yeah, I thought they had a lot of cool spots. I really liked Kofi's double stomp, double power bomb. Would be the best way to describe it. It was very cool looking. I also really liked the finish too with Eric Young hitting the neck breaker off on Kofi, hanging off of
Alexander Wolf.
Alexander Wolf, thank you. Through the table. I thought that was pretty cool. So overall, it was a fine match, but it's a tables match in WWE nowadays without the Dudleys.
The actual strong, the spots impressive, but the sum of the parts was not necessarily up to the quality one would have expected for a match with this much talent involved. And friend of the show too.
New friend of the show, Eric Young.
In defense of the participants though, it was a rush match, the product of time to frustrate. Unfortunately, there were not enough minutes at the disposal of competitors to deliver a match they could have under other conditions. And it was okay way to introduce the idea of this stream. to the audience and nothing else.
Gave the match a C+.
Be nice. Up next, the B team defeated the Leader Worlds to win the Raw Tag Team Championships.
Well, to start off with the main show, it was an interesting choice for an opener. If I had been booking this one, would I have made that one? Absolutely not. I thought there would probably be at least another better match to put on there. That would be a lot more interesting, a lot more fast-paced, get the crowd going. But this is the choice they made. It was an okay match, but it's not really remarkable. It wasn't memorable to me anyway, minus the B team winning.
Yeah.
But nothing really stuck out to me in this match. Kind of like the feud. The B team dressed as the Believer of the World would probably be the most memorable thing in it.
Right.
But they did it so often that it lost its fairly quickly. This one, it just felt like stuff happening in moves, and the B team won. It was okay, not terrible, but unremarkable whatsoever.
The B team's redemption story culminated with a championship victory in open match at Extreme Rules. Got both stunned fans, fully expecting baby faces. The success of the fan titles to kick the show one note with recurrence. I will say that Axel and Dallas have been telling pros for years. The company has answered no matter how ridiculous and embarrassing or credibility killing may be. Their win, despite their status as heels, is a feel-good moment for them that proves that even when appears to come and take certain performance with great hard work and dedication still pay off. So I'm happy for them, more specifically Axel, because I am a fan of his. The match itself, though, was unspectacular, but it was a nice moment for the B team.
I gave it a D.
Insane. Next, Finn Balor defeated Baron Corbin.
It was a decent little match. Corbin is strangely, if you give him the right opponent, he's actually strangely solid. For as much as we complain about the build-up to his feuds and I'm not going to look forward to this match, his matches can be surprisingly solid, is the best way to describe it. Not great or anything.
Well, the build-up to this match was the match, though.
Yeah.
In that regard.
Exactly. Again, like Joe said, I'll say it a different way. It was kind of hard to care about.
Right.
The build-up wasn't anywhere near as good. But solid enough.
As you can see, for the most part, mine's Carmella. We don't blame the talent. We might say this person's not good or in the ring or whatever, but we don't always blame them. Because sometimes the bad ones, even the below average ones, pull out good performances.
Yeah.
The negative star queen up next doesn't. But and if that match will get negative 7 stars, fuck Dave Meltzer. Sorry, F for the SmackDown Women's match. For this match,
he spoiled it in a match early, but alright.
Sorry. Yeah, we don't try to blame the talent, unless it's Carmella. Or gender. But even then, I can't blame gender. Finn and Corbin look like two guys who travel the loops and work to try numerous matches while in NXT. The Axel and Crips, they seemingly knew what each other was going to do before they did, and the result was a much better match than it probably should have been. The story of the match was solid, not the story going into the match, though.
Yeah.
And arrogant Corbin overwhelmed Balor with size about Calvin Hart to actually his opponent, who fought for the Constant's onslaught and scored upset win from out of nowhere. That all works in the grand scheme of a solid story in the match.
Yeah.
Not the story they tried to tell going into it. And Balor needed to win self-fierce after must lose at high-profile battles. While Corbin's on-screen association with Stephanie McMahon will buy him some heat, even in defeat. The feud looks poised to continue given the lack of obvious feuds for either guys in the coming weeks against Book Bearer. It may not be a bad thing. I think it may not be a bad thing though, especially if Stephanie makes her presence felt though at some point.
Yeah.
Down the proverbial road. Because Finn literally said on the Kickle show that he doesn't like Stephanie. So
it's kind of almost like Vince calling McIntyre when he first came in, the chosen one.
Yeah.
Where it would probably would have benefited more if Vince
was on screen.
affected his career more firsthand.
Yeah.
Instead of just McIntyre handing Teddy Long like a letter saying you get the Intercontinental title shot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But overall, match story was better than the story, but yeah, combined everything and the fans' interest, so it's kind of hard match to agree.
Yeah. I ended up giving it a C though.
I hope the story gets better for SummerSlam. I did give it a D for now.
Okay.
Up next, Carmel defeated Asuka retaining the World Championship.
I actually started writing notes for this show, and my one note for it was Asuka lost. But yeah, that was literally the biggest thing out of this match. Granted, it was Ellsworth finding a way to get out of the cage and then hanging himself up, and then Asuka's just repeatedly kicking him. It would have been a fun little thing if terrible booking didn't take place beforehand and afterhand. With Carmelo, just the match didn't really do much whatsoever. Like I don't remember a thing before Ellsworth decided to break out the cage.
Well, I think Alexa and Carmella got together, and they both counted how many bumps they should take total tonight.
Yes.
And it turned out Alexa took 2 more than Carmella.
Yes.
Which was 0. So it turned out they were going to let Alexa do all the heavy lifting tonight.
Yes.
Though she barely did A either. That's what happened.
And then
Seriously, Asuka's hip attack. Alexa at least grazed it. Carmelo.
That's so nice. Just ask me what you'd like me to do, and I'll try my best.
Solo move. Carmella.
you said it perfectly.
Carmella literally missed the spot, and she got hit with it though. And sold it. Yeah.
Yeah. But essentially, the cage is lowered to try to get Ellsworth down.
He was the best part of the match.
People come into the ring and try to help Ellsworth out, and Asuka pretty much kicks the shit out of everybody because she was keep on kicking Ellsworth. Carmella sneaks in the ring and shoves her face straight into the shark cage. Carmella wins.
The match itself was awful. A real contender for the worst televised title match of the year.
Yes.
The only thing salvaged in the storyline was the fact that everything that played out unfortunately made sense.
Unfortunately, yeah.
With the context of the stories the performers told. Ellsworth undeniably adds to the Carmella character. Well, at some point, though, he created to confront the issue of the lovable loser overshadowing the woman themselves and the valuable until they compete for. And that was the case here. The entire match revolved around Ellsworth escaping the cage and getting his escape. The title belt was secondary, which is something that absolutely cannot happen at a time when the company is so invested in pushing the notion of a women's revolution. But when your women's champs are that, I guess you can't.
It's more important for women to beat up a chauvinist than it is for them to win their world title.
When your women's champions are 2 women that barely wrestle, you gotta do all the bells and whistles around it. To salvage that.
Well, I'm expecting at SummerSlam. We'll get into Ronda and Alexa later, but
I'm guessing Becky beats this fool.
Yeah.
At SummerSlam.
Exactly.
Because Becky was the one feud with Ellsworth.
Yeah. Well, I'll get to what we said. To what I was about ready to say to the other women's match on the show.
Up next, Shinsuke Nakamura defeat Jeff Hardy in 5 seconds.
Oh, women's match F.
Oh yeah, in my hour game. Shinsuke Nakamura defeat Jeff Hardy in 5 seconds to win the United States Championship. And Randy Orton returns and turns heel by attacking Jeff Hardy and us. Shinsuke did.
Really, the only truly negative I can say about it is it's right after another screwy finish with Carmella and Asuka. Essentially, the match doesn't go the way you think it's necessarily planned. If you're going to have 2 of those, I probably would have spread them out a little bit more.
Right.
Just so they're not like back to back and you feel like you're being screwed back to back.
This is better executed, though.
It was better executed. And I agree with how it went down. Jeff being relatively hurt, you don't necessarily want him to have a longer match. Or at least want to save him up.
They're bigger shows.
But if you're going to do that, you're going to need a big moment. That's where Randy Orton came in
Yeah.
and essentially turned heel on Jeff Hardy.
Yeah, just to clarify, his injuries aren't major. That would require time off. They're more like pinched nerve and lower back.
Yeah.
But you were have more healthy for SummerSlam than Extreme Rules. Yeah. And in this case, it looks like there's not a triple threat for SummerSlam, where he could still wrestle in the match if he isn't paid.
Yeah.
Or not with two guys that couldn't work. Doing work. My overall was all storyline development. Obviously, Grey's at NA.
Yeah, it is.
But it was good. It was good storyline development. Nakamura winning the title was the right move.
And he also used the low blow.
Right. So it was a whole protection to Jeff.
He really likes touching people's nuts.
Lucky man. God forbid I'm not touching Carmella. I don't know where that's been to get this kind of ring. I wonder if the cats got released. Because whoever Carmella's sleeping with is getting the cobwebs out of Carmella, that's for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, people will call Alexa a slut. At least Alexa can talk. Nakamura win the title was the right move out because he needs something eventually in the heel run. As the company continues to seek conceal momentum in the wake of his unsuccessful attempts to dethrone AJ as a champion, his low blow prior to the belt was the type of psychological brilliance that you don't really see on the main roster. And that worked for his character, while his win in mere seconds was such a great bit of heel booking over one of the more beloved baby faces in the company. And the return of Orton and his subsequent turn was certainly welcome. Randy was last seen dropping not dropping, but losing the United States Championship match to Jeff.
Yeah.
So a backlash. So it makes sense he was sold to superstar he has unfinished business with. And hopefully this said turn represents a freshening up of a character that's been on the bottom list for the better part for a year or so. So the story time there was excellent. Up next, Braun Strowman Kevin Owens defeated Braun Strowman and it's still takes change.
Yes. It's the match. It's one of the matches I lost to you. If it had gone the other way, we would be a different situation at the end. But it didn't happen. Yes. However, Braun Strowman ends up standing tall. He gets the moral victory. As the bully, I guess. The match, it was there. It's literally a cage match you would see on a Monday Night Raw to me. Minus the high spot at the end where Braun literally throws Kevin Owens off the top of the cage through the announce table on the floor. That was cool looking. Kind of idiotic though, because you're pretty much letting Kevin Owens win. Yeah, you stand the high ground, you get the so-called moral victory, but you end up losing the match. It's literally WWE Creative having the trend of the Money in the Bank holder lose, but in their possible way of protecting Braun Strowman.
Yeah.
It's kind of odd, but that's the way their history has gone. But yeah, it was a cool looking ending, but stupid. And the match left much to be desired.
Yeah, this is one of the more stranger matches. Because the action was kind of meh, considering who was in the match. The storytelling in the actual match, not the ending. The storytelling in the actual match was pretty good. Owens took the fight to Braun, and then when that didn't work, he resorted to the use of handcuffs. And they were confident went up and grabbed some of the dangerous and they paid clearly for that. So the storytelling was good. The match was kind of lackluster though in comparison to the story.
Yeah.
The ending moment was idiotic from a story standpoint, but the most extreme moment of the night. I was one with Strowman got the last slave. Owens' win that was necessary given the way the story unfolded in the weeks ahead of the show. Losing will render him a total move. In this scenario, Strowman was protected in an idiotic way. His strength and fury on full display as he sacrificed victory. I guess you want to look at it like this. He sacrificed victory.
Yeah.
To punish a man whose life he has delighted in making him live in hell. That might more better if he was a heel.
Yes.
No.
Yes, it really would.
Does Owens execute everything perfectly? Like the story of Owens taking the fight to him and then resorting to the handcuffs, all that was executed perfectly. The action didn't match the story, no? Another strange match.
I gave it a D minus.
See? Up next, the Bludgeon Brothers defeated Team Hell No to retain the South Carolina Tag Team Championships.
Kind of an odd way to structure this match, though. Earlier, they had the Bludgeon Brothers attack them from behind and take out Kane. Slam the bludgeon or mallet into the door in between Kane's legs, or on Kane's leg. So for the bulk of this match, it ended up being a handicap match. I guess something to differentiate from the earlier tag match, but you're already going to get that with the reuniting of Team Hell No. But there is an ulterior motive. Kane was in medical boot. He was seen with a medical boot before the show.
Right.
So it's probably just to limit Kane's time in the ring. But Daniel Bryan in a handicap match is better than anybody else in a tag team match, really.
Yeah.
He had that same fire, and he put on a great show with Bludgeon Brothers. Until they gained the advantage, and it kind of went to a handicap match. Until Kane comes out with a couple minutes to go in the match, hits a couple choke slams. However, Bludgeon Brothers take him out, and Bryan comes back in, and he ends up taking the loss to the Bludgeon Brothers. Definitely the better of the two handicap matches, tag team matches, but just a little odd structure, kind of odd way to have their first Team Hell No match back together. I completely understand it though with Kane's ankle, but still not the match you were necessarily expecting for Team Hell No's first.
Yeah, it was kind of just a weird way to culminate Team Hell No's fun unexpected reunion. Yes, they created almost sure was to build the Bludgeon Brothers upset Team Hell No's victory. Ultimately means war. But I do think now was the time to strike while the baby faces were hot. So in that regard, I think they kind of feel miserably.
Yeah.
Like most surprise return of Reign to the point, it left more of a sour taste once out the created segment anticipation for next Chatter's quest to make it back to the top of the mountain. But it was a solid handicap match. Long spectacular.
Yeah. I gave it a C minus.
See. Next, Bobby Lashley defeated Roman Reigns.
Surprisingly a strong match. Again, given their build-up, you didn't necessarily expect the best from them. And the crowd, I will comment on this, they were really harsh from the beginning.
Not the only match.
Yeah, it's not the only match. Although they were harsh in a different way later on in the show. But in this one, they really weren't trying to give Roman or Lashley a chance from like the point of Roman's entrance.
Right, yeah.
Like they booed Roman, they kept on booing. Lashley came out, they were still booing. The match went on for about 10 minutes and they were booing practically throughout. It was until like Lashley hit like a double axe hand, like a basic move, like still impressive for a big guy, but it got them somewhat into the match. But I thought the match was good throughout that, and it seemed like the crowd was fairly harsh on them. But it ended up actually being a very good match, I thought. I didn't like the finish with Roman trying to hit his spear, but Lashley pretty much taking him out with his own. I don't think anyone has taken Roman out with the spear, not even Batista, who I think would be the only person to hit him
with the spear.
Hit him with the spear. So I thought that was pretty cool. And Lashley picks up a much needed convincing win.
Yeah, with Star Slow developed into a really strong battle with the Big Man, Lashley going over was a necessary move, and that he needed to announce to today's fans that he is a big deal. Now, not everyone was around when he beat Umaga and won the headliners of WrestleMania 23. Not everyone remembers when he was tapped to be the next big thing in WWE. He was going for so long that his connection with the fans disappeared quicker than a Marvel hero at the snap of Thanos' fingers.
Wow, an Avengers reference, alright.
Is that better one I normally do?
Yes.
Thank you. It's a little bit more relevant. 2 months off. 3 months off. Beating the top star in the industry is a great way to establish legitimacy and set compare up for a championship push. Reigns loses nothing defeat. He's as bulletproof as there is on the WWE roster. Unless you're Carmella. And loses matches like this is the perfect example. But Carmella's more bulletproof than Roman. And it's the perfect example of him using his star to help elevate others. It's exactly what fans have wanted out of a top star for years. And something tells me that will not be taken out the next time the fans state their anti-Reigns cases.
I ended up giving this match a switch the page before I need to. I gave it a B.
B. Up next, Alexa Bliss defeated Nia Jax in a Extreme Rules match for King of Roll and Championship.
It's more like mild rules, really. Yeah, they really.
Why are you insulting the mild rules?
Okay, there were barely not any rules.
The only thing she took was a trash can. A trash can to the boobs.
Yeah. Yeah, there was trash cans,
Chairs,
a chair,
kendo sticks.
kendo stick.
All shots were weak minus the one girl pressed onto the trash can.
Yeah. However, to start with this match, though, the video package was like 70% Ronda.
Was it a video package? Oh, yeah, that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The video package that they had before the match, where they could go over Nia and Alexa, they went over Ronda, and thank God for that.
Well, Alexa and Nia didn't have a feud.
So you know Ronda's going to have something a little bit more in this match than just sitting there watching Alexa win. The match was better than being expected. Thankfully, from the periphery, they added and Mickie James and Natalya. Just think about it this way: Mickie James and Natalya were involved in a pay-per-view match together. Just let it play like that. The action between Nia and Bliss was almost minimal. Just a couple weapons used. Nothing really insane or nothing really to write home about. But Ronda did get physical and pretty much beat the crap out of Mickie James. Chased down Ronda, and James made the save with a kendo stick right to the back of Ronda's head. Which actually might have been the vicious shot of the match.
Yeah.
Because that literally looked like it aimed like right here
In the point, yeah.
on Ronda. But it ends up being Alexa winning off the DDT onto the chair. The match between the two that were actually in the match was there, but the outside interferences provided some fun.
The match itself was ugly and disjointed, at times, but did just something give fans what they wanted, and Nia pummeling Alexa not to be a total letdown. But this was all about Nia and Alexa having a great match because
why would you have your match rely on that? That would just
who would expect that? This was about Rousey jumping the guardrail, teasing their hands on Bliss, and sound their inevitable one-on-one showdown for the Royal Women's Championship. Taking that into consideration, that Till's success is the only thing classified as size. The crowd's reaction to Rousey sprinting around the ring to catch up to Bliss prior to the finish was indicating just how eager they are to see the UFC Hall of Famer kick Little Miss Bliss's ace. When that time comes, the moment will trump any criticisms of their match quality.
I ended up giving the match a C-.
See. Up next, AJ Styles defeated Rusev to retain the WWE Championship.
A very good match. Rusev definitely showed that he belongs in a world title picture. That he can hang with literally the best and put on a good performance. It's a strong world title match that I think we sort of needed since one world title holder decides not to show up for 3 months at a time.
Yeah.
So I thought the match was very good.
Long match. AJ and Rusev took a sleepy Pittsburgh crowd and had them buy into the late match cheerfuls. Does a testament to the storytelling, the high spots, and the talents of the performers. The psychology involved, including superstars selling their injuries to the point that they cannot execute their trademark offense, was superb. Perhaps nothing left a greater impact than the frustration demonstrated by AJ. His inability to put Russo away led him lash out at the official boredom we typically see out of him, while Russo's gusty performance only enhanced the love and support from the challenger. Russo's performance elevated his star and made him a much more sympathetic and popular competitor than he was ever in the match. It bears watching English's late match mistake when they necessitated the breakup with him and Rusev, and in the weeks to come.
My grade for the match ended up being a B+.
Hey, nice. I should scratch that A. Rusev delivered. Up next, Dolph Ziggler defeats Seth Rollins to retain the Intercontinental Championship in the Iron Man match.
I thought the Iron Man match was good. It's kind of hard to have a bad Iron Man match, but you can ask Sasha and Charlotte for that one.
But Carmella when the time comes.
I don't think she's going to have an Iron Man
I don't think
match.
she does his base and all that.
I think they know not to give Carmella a 30-minute match.
She shouldn't be
She doesn't even go over 10.
She shouldn't be getting one.
The most she would do is like a 10-minute Iron Man match.
She shouldn't be getting 1 minute matches.
I thought it was a very good match. However, I kind of didn't. Well, I definitely didn't like the crowd. First off, with their countdown. Then we did do that at Royal Rumble, but it was before the show,
Right.
and really only during the Royal Rumble matches, not really during any world title matches on the show or any other match. But Pittsburgh seemed to love to do it. WWE ended up getting annoyed with it, took away their clock, and then they kept on doing it every 10 seconds. And that got fairly annoying pretty quickly, where this guy over here actually turned down the volume on the show. We sit through Mondays of Coach commentary, and Michael Cole commentary, and even JBL King Cole commentary. We didn't turn the volume down on those. This one we did, so Pittsburgh got so annoying where the bit got very old very fast. But getting to the match, I think the main problem for me with it would be the falls were kind of very front loaded. Like in the first 20 minutes, we had 7 falls. Especially when these guys can go to a 1-fall match to like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
I thought that the beginning was very front loaded, and then there was like 2 falls maybe in the last 10 minutes and overtime. But I did think the action was good. I did sort of enjoy how the score went down. I just think it was a little bit more front loaded and it could have been spread out closer towards the end. But still, I thought Seth and Dolph put on a pretty good main event.
The pace of this